Okay, so this question is question 7 from exercise 6C, and it is actually in regards to the rational root theorem. If you want to watch a video on the rational root theorem, there is a really good video here with an example. It is also on page 224 to 225 of your textbook. Okay, so the question is 2x cubed minus 7 squared plus 16x minus 15, and we'll call that p of x. My pen is playing up, so just ignore and be anything that goes a bit funny. And you know that's an x there. Okay, there's an x there. Okay, you can have a look at the question in the textbook anyway. Okay, so I've just called this p of x just so that I can find a factor. So 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 16x minus 15 is the question. So we need to find a factor. So what we would usually do is we'd sub in p of 0. So sub it into there, see if it gives us 0. To be a factor, it should equal 0. Doesn't give us 0. Try p of 1. That also doesn't give us 0. We could also try p of 3. That doesn't give us 0. Try all the factors of, you look at 15. But none of them give us 0. So this is where the rational root theorem comes into place. Now, why do we use the rational root theorem? Well, here we have 15, the last number. That's usually what we look at to find the factors. But what we also look at is this number here. In this example, you have a number that is not 1. So when the number at the front of the x cubed is not 1, that's where we use the rational root theorem. So what we do to use this theorem is we look at the factors of 15, so the constant. Now my pen's playing up, of course. So factors of 15. Okay, so what are they? Positive and negative 3. We have positive and negative 5. Another factor of 15. Positive and negative 15. And positive and negative 1. So we looked at the constant. I've written them all there. Then what we also do, because we have a number at the front of the x cubed that is not 1, we need to look at the factors of 2. So factors of 2. Now, the factors of 2 are 2 and 1. I'm not going to write 1 down, because if I write 1 down, I'll show you in a minute. We'll exclude 1 for a minute. We'll just write so the factors of 2 are 2 and 1. I'm just going to write 2 down. And now I'm going to put a line. I'm going to separate these. So this here, the top number comes from the constant, the bottom number comes from this factor here. Now the reason why I haven't written 1 under here is because then this here becomes doesn't become a fraction. So I'm not including 1 on the bottom. All right? Because then I'm doing what I would have done at the start on this line here. Okay, so we're just including 2. Now what we've got here, so positive 3 on 2, negative 3 on 2. We have to try them and see if we sub them in, we get 0. So positive 5 on 2 and negative 5 on 2. Positive 15 on 2, negative 15 on 2. It's a bit of work. Hopefully you have a calculator. So I'll try p of 3 on 2 first. And if I sub that into the question, so we sub that back into the question right at the top there, we sub that in, what do we get? 2, 3 on 2 cubed minus 7, 3 on 2 squared plus 16, 3 on 2 minus 15. We actually do get 0. Maybe that was luck, or maybe I knew that already. But you'd have to try them all. My best advice would be just, start from the first one you go from, and then try them one by one. So we get 0. So what does that mean? Well, P of 3 on 2 equals 0. So what is the actual factor? So what is the factor? So that's not the factor. If we sub that in, we get 0. What is the factor? The factor is therefore 2x. Oops. Sorry. 2x minus 3. How did I get that? 2x minus 3. Because if you solve that, you made that equal to 0, you would get 3 on 2. So working backwards, the factor is 2x minus 3 from this here. So, and then using that, you can either use long division, you can use equating coefficients. You can't use synthetic division because of that 2 there. Oh, actually, no, sorry, you can use, I apologize, I said that wrong. You can use synthetic division as well to find the other factors. I might quickly do that, so I might do long division. So if we do long division, we get 2x, our question, minus 7x squared, plus 16x minus 15. I apologize, my pen is playing up. 2x minus 3. Plus. Please make sure your working looks better than mine. So when we work this out, we say 2x to the power of 3 divided by 2x. What is that? It is x squared. Then, no, it doesn't look like an x squared, but pretend it does look like an x squared. So we do x squared. We multiply that by the first term. We multiply that by this, and we get 2x cubed. We then multiply that by the second term, so x squared times minus 3 gives us minus 3x squared. We then do our subtraction. This first bit is our check. It should always give us 0, which it does. Minus 7x squared minus 3x squared. So minus 7x squared minus 3x squared gives us, that's effectively minus 7x squared plus 3x squared gives us minus 4x squared. We always like to have 2 things on each line, so we need to have something else here, so that's where we bring the plus 16x down. Plus 16x down. Then we work with this line here, and we start off with this one here, and we say minus 4x squared divided by 2x is minus 2x. We then do our check. Minus 2x times 2x gives us minus 4x squared. Once you've multiplied it by that first term, you need to multiply that by the second term there. So minus 2x times minus 3 gives us positive 6x. Don't forget to always put a bracket around that whole thing and a minus. So minus 4x squared minus 4x squared gives us 0, because that's a plus. 0, which is what we expect. It's our check. 16x minus positive 6x. So that's 16x minus. That's 16x minus 6x, effectively. 10x down here. Now, it's a horrible 10x. Let me just delete that. Again, apologies, my pen. Here, there we go. Again, we like to have 2 things on each line, so bringing that down. So minus 15. Then we use this here. 10x divided by 2x is positive 5. Positive 5. Then we do our check. Positive 5 times 2x gives us 10x. And we then multiply the positive 5 by that second term. 5 times minus 3 gives us minus 15. And all of that gives us 0. 10x minus 10x gives us 0. Minus 15 minus minus 15 gives us 0. So, let me make it smaller. And again, apologies for the way this looks. It is just because my pen is not working. So, what is the answer? P of x equals 2x minus 3 x squared minus 2x plus 15. Can we further factorize this? I don't think we can. If you can, you simplify it further. Actually, no, that's not 15. I wrote that wrong. Let's delete that, sorry. You would be able to factorize that further. Let's fix that up. It's actually P of x. It would be good if I copied it properly. P of x equals 2x minus 3 x squared minus 2x plus 5. That's a bit better. That's our answer. And this you cannot factorize further. If you could, you would then factorize that further into linear factors, but that's perfectly fine as the answer. Now, I did long division for this part here, but you don't have to use long division. If you have a CAS, if it's CAS able, you could use a CAS and divide it. You could also do synthetic division, or you could use equating coefficients, because it's not a long division question. It is just seeing if you can write the factors out. Okay, I hope that helps.